The first steps are often the hardest. For these leaders, starting out was a journey of bold decisions and learning curves. Let's dive into how their entrepreneurial journeys began and the seeds that grew into impactful ventures.
When I was working in Ireland, I was a family doctor and I was a bit bored. So I started a couple of other businesses when I was there. So I wasn't a stranger to being an entrepreneur. And when I came to Uganda, then some of that experience, and this is one thing I've learned in life, always take the season you're in and then always try to garner as much experience and learn things from that season, and you will never know when that will become useful. I just finished reading Steve Jobs' autobiography by Erickson, very good biography by the way, and you know, the story is told of how Steve Jobs, when he went to I think Brook University, he wasn't a good student, he didn't settle. In fact, he left university, but then he used to go back, he hung around the university, he used to go back and do classes, and one of the classes he did was in calligraphy. And that resulted in what we have now in all the different font styles and so on in our keyboards. And you'd think, well, you know, the different things that Steve Jobs did contribute to his life in different ways. And you see that, and I think that's a lesson for us all to take. Whatever season you're in, get the best. I'm always telling my staff, it's not about, you know, you're just here and picking up a pay packet. How are you developing as an individual in this particular season, this job that you're in?
Yeah, that's very interesting. I relate to Steve Jobs, that part of his story. It was very inspiring. It's like everything adds up. Eventually, every little skill adds up.
See, your life's like in building blocks, and so you keep building, and you're building a wall, you're building a house, and so you build on something you've had before. But the other thing, and again you see this in Steve Jobs, is your experience may not be just linear. You may not just do, you know, say now you're an intern and you're doing some research. So you could go on and, you know, you build, but you keep essentially in the same field. Or maybe a better example would be, let's say you train as a surgeon. You know, so you do your undergraduate, then you do your postgraduate, then you start practicing as a surgeon, and then for that career you probably just continue. You know, is a linear development, but not all careers are linear like that. I mean, mine hasn't been, and I think some people assume they're going to have a linear, progressive career, and yet today's world is not like that. There's too much disruption in this world. AI, you know, the digital world has come along. AI has come along, changes a lot of things, and so you have to be prepared to learn those things and then see where you go next. And sometimes that has been a question of starting again. For me, there's been a lot of starting again. A lot. Because when we were in Ireland, I was middle class. You know, I had a nice house, I had a good job, nice car, kids at private schools, and a mortgage. And all of those things tied me into, you have to stay in Ireland, earn this money to pay your mortgage, send your kids to school, give them the opportunity in life. Nothing pointed to coming out to the world to Uganda. And in fact, when I spoke to people about that at the time, they were just like, "Are you nuts?" You know, what, you know? And yet at the same time, when I came to Luwero, the experience I'd had in Ireland helped me, not just the medical experience, but other business experience, helped me to do what I was doing in Luwero. So I was driven by, let me say I've always been driven, as I'm sure you all are, by having a purposeful existence. And so when I had done that 6 years in Choko, it was very meaningful because we were able to really build something in the post-war period, bring back hope